Yo, what's up, YouTube? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, right when I start a video, my reefer wants to turn on. It's all good. So I'm in Southern California. I'm in California right now. Actually raining here, which is kind of weird. Doesn't usually rain in California, but well, at least Southern California. But yeah, I'm pretty close to home. I'm not gonna go home yet. Couple personal reasons. Nothing crazy. Just try to make some extra money. But no, I'm only like 3 hours away from my house. 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. I was actually gonna go home, but I'm actually a little bit further than I'd like to be able to go home for the night. So I'm sitting over here at a Pilot. I got here like around noon, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, something like that. My delivery is like 30 minutes away, and it doesn't deliver until tomorrow night. So I'll be sitting at this Pilot till about 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow. And I was gonna go home because I was so close. Well, at least I thought I was gonna be so close. But what this video is about is time management. How to manage your clock. For those of you that don't know, I'm gonna try to explain it. Now, if I mess up at all, let me know down in the comments. But basically, you have about 4 different clocks. So you got your overall clock for driving, and it's 70 hours for a week, and a week is 7 days. Again, this is truck driving. There's no 5-day work weeks here. It's 7 days. So you get to drive 70 hours in 7 days. All right. So that's the most you can drive. Now, you have your workday clock, which starts when you move. I'm gonna try not to get into any kind of personal conveyance. I don't want to confuse anybody. But once you start moving, your clock starts. Now you get 14 hours to drive once your clock starts. Now you can't drive all 14 hours. You can only drive your 11 hours within that 14 hours. Okay? And then the other 2 clocks that break down off that 11-hour clock is your 8-hour clock. For your rest break, you get 30 minutes, and then you get 3 more hours to drive for the day. Now, there are people out there that say drive your 11 hours, and then reset when you're out of time. And then there's people that say to use your recap hours. So basically, recap hours are, so you drive for 7 days. Now on that 8th day, so let's do it like this. You got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Whatever you drove on this Monday, you get back on this Monday. Okay, so if you drove, let's say you drove 10 hours, right? 10 hours. Then on this Monday, you get 10 hours back. All right. When I first heard it, it was super complicated, but it's actually not that complicated. Once you start driving and you start watching your clocks, and then you start seeing what you get back and what you don't get back, it's pretty easy to figure out. But basically, if you want to take a 34-hour reset, okay, because you're out of time, that's awesome. Go for it. I know. I got a buddy who used to do that, and he did it for his religious beliefs. But yeah, he took 34-hour resets, and he would drive 11 hours every single day. Boom. And then he'd have to take off, I want to say it was from Friday night to Saturday night for his religious beliefs. So that's when he took his 34-hour reset, and then he was back to work on Sunday. Or was it Saturday to Sunday? I'm not 100%. If I got it wrong, I apologize, Yusuf. But basically, there are guys out there that do run 11 hours a day. That's awesome. There are times when you have to run 11 hours a day. But The sweet spot, so you never run out of time. Let's say you're somebody that wants to be on the road for, let's just say, a month, right? And you want to drive every single day. I think it's like 9 hours or 9.25 hours or 9:45. I can't remember the exact number, but it's around 9 to 10, in between 9 and 10 hours. If you run 9 to 10 hours every single day, you'll never run out of time, because your hours will just keep recapping, and you'll keep getting those 9 hours back, 9 hours back, 9 hours back. So that's how that works. Now, I like to drive at least minimum 5 hours before I stop for my rest break. That's just me. The thing is, you have to drive a minimum. If you're going to drive an 11-hour shift, you have to drive 3 hours minimum before you take your rest break. Because every 8 hours that you drive, after 8 hours of driving, should you say, you have to. It doesn't matter if you took a rest break before. If you drove 8 hours, you have to take a half-hour rest break. It's the rules. It's the law. So basically, let's say you got up and you drove for 2 hours and you were tired, so you took a break. And this is if you want to drive 11 hours. So then you start driving again after your 2-hour break, and you go on and you want to drive the rest of your 9 hours. You can't, because after 8 hours you have to take a rest break. So if you want to drive 11 hours a day, minimum requirement is that you drive 3 hours straight before you take a break. Now, you could drive 3 hours, take a break, then drive 8. You could do a 5-hour shift and a 6-hour shift, whatever you want to do. On days where I know I'm going to drive, at least 10, 11 hours, I'm going to drive at least minimum 6 hours before I pull over. Most of the time I don't need to. Sometimes when I get into those traffic situations and I've just been sitting there for 4 hours, yeah, I'm not going to drive 6 hours. I'm going to drive those 4 hours and then get out of the truck, just because there's a difference between driving a truck on the highway, and there's a difference between driving a truck and sitting in traffic for 4 hours. Even though it's the same amount of time, it feels so much different. Traffic's a lot more stressful. Anyways, that's getting off the subject. So basically, those are your clocks. And the reason I'm not going home is because last week when I was running out to Texas, I was in a time crunch, so I ran some hours, 4 days straight, including the trip before Texas. So I had to be there on time and everything else. So yeah, I'm short on hours. I'm not short on hours, I'm recapping hours right now, so I'm fine. But I like to, if I can sit here and gain more hours and get my clock back. So like, let's take what's today? Today is Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. So Sunday I was running on 8 hours and I was done with my clock, and then I was gonna get 10 hours back Monday. And luckily, the way the loading and unloading went, I was able to wait, and then now I'm back up to, like, tomorrow I'll have like 28 hours or something like that on my clock. And so I like to do that. I like to burn out my clock and then stagger my jobs to where my clock starts coming back. That's just how I like to run. That's how I ran with my trainer. We'd burn and turn, and then we'd work our clock back. So I like to do. I don't see a point in doing 34-hour resets if you don't have to. So, but yeah, those are your clocks, guys. You got an 8 hour, then a break. Then you got your 11-hour shift, and you got to do that 11 hours within the 14-hour shift, and then you have your 70-hour clock. Don't forget, after running, it doesn't matter. Once you burn your 11-hour clock out, or let's say you only want to drive 9 hours that day, you got to take a 10-hour rest break. Okay, so that's getting a little more into detail, but don't forget you do have a 10-hour rest break that you got to take every day, and that's after it's either after you burn your 11-hour clock out or after you burn out your 14-hour clock, and you can burn your 14-hour clock. So I'll get into that real quick. So your 14-hour clock is when you start driving, right? So let's say you have let's just make it an easy number, afternoon appointment at 12 o'clock, and you're an hour away. You don't want to start your clock at 6 in the morning because your appointment's not till noon. So you're gonna burn 6 hours of that 14 hours just sitting there waiting at the shipper or the receiver. So if you're an hour away and it's at noon, leave at 10 or leave at 9:30, so that way you can be there an hour and a half early. You're not burning out too much of your clock. But once that 14-hour clock runs out, and let's say you took you 3 hours from the time you started to the time you got to your receiver, and then they take 6 hours to unload you, just giving you a figure of speech. So that's 9 hours. So now you only have 5 hours left to drive once they get done unloading you. See how it works? So sometimes you can't drive 10 hours. Sometimes it all depends on your shipper and your receiver. Now on days when you're going across the country from, let's just say, from California to Florida, then those days you can just drive 11 hours. But the days that you're going to your shipper and your receiver, sometimes you can't drive 11 hours. But anyways, kind of rambling on. But those are your basic clocks. I just wanted to go over clock management. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. If it confused the hell out of you, because it confused the hell out of me when I first started, I do apologize. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one. Later.